Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I just have a quick message here. Do not let other people's trauma to traumatize you. So I repeat, do not let other people's traumatized experience to traumatize you. So I want to explain a little bit. Have you ever had the situations that people wronged you, or you feel wronged by somebody, wronged by your parents, wronged by your siblings, or wronged by your teachers or whoever, or wronged by your boss? And however, you just cannot explain because they see this one thing about you, or maybe they didn't see the whole picture, but when they saw it, they saw this one spot, and they kind of, it somehow triggered them, and then they maybe stated something, made some decisions, and also questioned you because, when people trigger, they're gonna react on it. There's two layers here, okay? Because first of all, why you feel people around you? When you feel people around you, it actually trigger the part of you. If you feel triggered, which means something is not at peace in your field, right? This is one side, because everything take two to make things happen. So if I didn't have this part of energy that I didn't really look into, I would not feel triggered, because I know what I am. I know what I do. I didn't against to hurt anybody, or my intention was pure. So if I know that my intention is pure, you stand in your truth, you will not get triggered, okay? That's on your side. So if you get triggered, looking into that. But I want to also go back. It's very important sometimes, like why I always get triggered by this thing. It's because it's constantly give you a reminder that you need to look into the part you got triggered, okay? And I will kind of relate to how you look into that part. But on the other side, because you cannot control other people when they have this similar trauma that's actually, the same thing as you have. Now what happened is, we all know when we been wronged one time, right? Like when you were young, parents wronged you, they don't listen to you, they don't believe you, they don't trust you. So what happened to you is, you either gonna be picky on other people, because if you have a parents really pick on you, you always grow up in the situation of this household, you're gonna be picky on other people because it's just inherent. You just take on that thing, you're gonna pick on the people. So when other people, did something, you're very sensitive because you're being treated in this way. I always say, people get bullied, they would turn to people bully other people. And it's very crazy to say that, but you look into your real life, sometimes it happens. Like we've been through there, like you got bullied one time, there's two outcomes. One is you can relate, understand how they feel, so you'll be aware, your consciousness, because you don't want the same thing happen to other people. But the other turnout is, when people pick at you being very picky, because when people pick on you, you feel wronged, you feel, so you want to be perfect. You want to be perfect. So when other people didn't do the perfect ways that you think of, then you're going to pick on other people. Do you see how that goes? So when, in the case we are talking about here, when you got people pick on you, right? So those are the people, they actually had their trauma before, people being picked on them, wrong them. And that's the second outcome I was talking about. So the people want them to, whoever in their life wants them to be perfect, and picking on them and wrong them, did not listen to them, how they felt that time, did not listen to their explanation, did not trust them. So now they have their very perfect image of how things need to be, and it happened, you jump into one of the scenario or one of the event, and they only saw this one dot trigger them. So they can fight at you. They're gonna send you little notes, they're gonna send you little message, and that time they could not control because they've been conditioned to do that. So now the point is, one side is already realized that, hey, I feel wronged. And the other side already sends this little message or little something to make you aware hey, I see this, and you did this, which is not a nice judgment coming, but this judgment is not just towards you, it's own that has the self-judgments also around in this person's field. But this person come to you, send your little notes, send your little, this little message. It's just somehow poking you. And you know that it's not okay because you're more conscious now, right? You felt this poking and you're like, man, I just want to find out who this person is. Or the other side is like, I didn't do anything wrong, why I feel this way. So this is very important. This is called decision moment. So whatever the choice you make gonna lead to different parallel reality. And when you are struggling, when you feel discomfort with this energy, it's great to pause. Why? Let me just go a little bit further. You think about it, if people already come at you because they've been wronged, now they are kind of see the perspective, or they see this one dot and they shoot arrow at you. Now, then when you shoot arrow at you, you can choose to not interact or interact with this. But then you're like, if I don't interact, I didn't feel fair because obviously I was not what she think I am, or I'm not what he think I am. And I need to explain, I need to fight, okay? Or you don't fight. But if you don't fight, if you're not at peace with your own things that stir in your energy field, you will not be in peace anyway. So that's different choices here. The choice number one, you gotta look into your own. When was the last time people wronged you, and how did you feel about that? Not until you look into that, release that trauma, you're gonna get triggered. Not by this person, but by other scenario in life that's gonna, basically present in front of your face that want you to look into that. So when we know what we are, who we are, where we at, what we do, when you stand in your truth, you have this peace. When you have this peace, you know what you did was for your highest good and for this person's highest good, for every single person who's involved, for their highest greatest good. You will not get triggered. And when you're not gonna get triggered, these messages come in, you're gonna help you to see your third eye, to see the truth behind their trigger. Because obviously, when things throw at you, if you are at peace, you will see different layer of the other person's experience, the trauma, where they come from. And in that moment, you can have compassion and love for other people. When we have our own trauma did not processed, when we have our own trigger, didn't realize, didn't shine light on it, didn't process, didn't release it, we won't be able to hold much of a compassion and love for other people, for their trauma, right? Because again, back to sick people, wounded animal, when they bite you, they just self-protection. So for whoever the people send you these little notes, little message, is this person's actually triggered? Not by, is you involved, but also this lesson is both sides. So just hold this vision in your heart. If it's our part, let's look into ourselves, because it's easier to look into yourself than looking into other people, right? So if you don't get triggered, which means you are at peace. I'm not sure, however, sometimes when you fight back, you will get triggered, you fight back. Later you're like, you probably have this regret. It's like, I probably should not send that note. I probably should not say that thing. But their regret is their feeling. So they might already feel regret just because you see these notes in front of you. But if you have peace and love, you can feel this person's energy. You have the love and compassion for this person, because that moment they just trigger. They just protect themselves. They just trigger something that they haven't looked into that, right? So I hope this message helps. And I thought I'm going to make it 4 minutes. It's to the 10 minutes again. But I hope you guys have a beautiful day.